Picture this. You're caught in the middle of a storm. Demands are coming at you from all directions, and it feels like there's no way out. Your heart races, the pressure builds up, and the weight on your shoulders feels unbearable. Have you ever been in a situation like this? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. Whether it's at work, in personal relationships, or any other aspect of life, we all face high-pressure moments. What sets apart those who can navigate these storms with more calm and balance is one simple yet powerful word: resilience. Resilience isn't about the absence of fear or discomfort, but the ability to bounce back, to recover, rise, and move forward. And I'm here to share 10 habits you can cultivate to build this inner strength, inspired by the teachings of Brené Brown and emotional resilience practices. 1. Embrace vulnerability. The first step to courage. When we talk about resilience, most people picture brute strength, a sort of emotional armor. But here's the secret. There is no resilience without vulnerability. I firmly believe that we can only be resilient when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Often in high-pressure environments, we feel the need to always be in control. After all, wouldn't showing our weaknesses be a sign of failure? This is a common mistake. The truth is that being vulnerable doesn't mean being weak. On the contrary, vulnerability is an act of courage. Allow yourself to feel fear, anxiety, or uncertainty. Admitting that you don't have all the answers is the first step toward true resilience. When we accept our vulnerability, we create room for learning and connection with others. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be human. Think about it. How many times have you pressured yourself to be strong when what you really needed was a moment of honesty with yourself? 2. Cultivate self-compassion. Stop being so hard on yourself. I know how easy it is to be your own worst critic. In high-pressure moments, we tend to be harsh with ourselves, treating every mistake as proof of our incompetence. But let me tell you something. Self-compassion is one of the most important pillars of emotional resilience. You will make mistakes. We all do. And when that happens, instead of beating yourself up with negative thoughts, ask yourself, how would I treat a friend in this same situation? You'd offer empathy, kindness, and understanding, right? So why not do the same for yourself? Be kind to yourself. Resilience doesn't come from perfectionism, but from acceptance. Accept that you're learning and that mistakes are part of the process. The sooner you stop judging yourself so harshly, the quicker you'll be able to get back up and move forward. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you truly forgave yourself for something? Before we continue, if you're enjoying this content and want to keep receiving more tips to strengthen your emotional resilience and face life's challenges with courage, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Now, let's move on to habit number 3. 3. Set clear boundaries. Protect your energy. High-pressure environments often demand more from us than we can give. It's like being in an endless race where expectations never stop coming. But here's the hard truth. You can't give what you don't have. And if you don't learn to protect your energy and set healthy boundaries, emotional burnout is inevitable. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love and respect for others. It's not about being selfish, but about being realistic with what you can and cannot do. Knowing how to say no is crucial to preserving your mental and emotional well-being. After all, resilience isn't about pushing yourself until you collapse, but knowing when it's time to stop and recharge. Think about it. How many times have you said yes to something when deep down you knew you should have said no? How different would your life be if you had the courage to set clearer boundaries? 4. Build a support network. No one is resilient alone. One of the most dangerous myths about resilience is that it's a solitary journey. Have you ever heard the saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself? Well, I disagree. Resilience is built in community. No one is resilient alone. You need a support network, people who stand by your side, who can offer encouragement, and who remind you of your true self when things get tough. This doesn't mean relying on others to solve your problems, but rather acknowledging that we are interdependent, and that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Think about the people around you. Who can you rely on when times get tough? If no one comes to mind, maybe it's time to invest in deeper relationships. 5. Practice gratitude. Find strength in acknowledging the present. Gratitude is a powerful tool for building resilience. When we're under pressure, it's easy to focus solely on the problems and what's missing. However, practicing gratitude helps us shift our focus, bringing to light everything we already have and everything that's going well, despite the challenges. Gratitude isn't about ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing the small wins and moments of beauty amidst the chaos. Research shows that regular gratitude practice can reduce stress and boost our ability to cope with adversity. Here's a challenge for you. What are 3 things you're grateful for today, even in the midst of pressure? Try keeping a gratitude journal. It won't make the challenges disappear, but it will certainly strengthen your ability to handle them. 6. Develop a growth mindset. See challenges as learning opportunities. One of the most powerful keys to emotional resilience is adopting what we call a growth mindset. This concept, studied by psychologist Carol Dweck, emphasizes the importance of viewing challenges and failures as opportunities for learning, rather than as definitive setbacks. In high-pressure environments, where mistakes can feel catastrophic, this shift in mindset is crucial. Think about the last time you faced a big challenge at work or in your personal life. How did you react? If your instinct was to blame yourself or feel incapable, you're not alone. But here's the point. Every difficulty is a chance for growth, if you allow it to be. For example, let's say you received negative feedback on an important project. The automatic response might be to feel defeated or frustrated. However, if you approach this situation with a growth mindset, you could ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? In this way, what could have been a paralyzing experience becomes an opportunity for development. This habit of looking at challenges through the lens of learning builds resilience because it shifts the focus from immediate results to long-term growth. It's not about perfection, but about progress. Now think about it. When was the last time you allowed yourself to learn from a failure? How did it change the way you face future challenges? 7. Face fear head-on. Courage is not the absence of fear. We often think of courage as the absence of fear, like brave people are those who simply don't feel fear when facing challenges. But here's the truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act despite it. In high-pressure environments, fear can take many forms: the fear of failure, of disappointing others, of not being enough. But running away from fear, or trying to suppress it, only makes its presence stronger. The true secret to developing resilience is facing fear head-on, acknowledging it, and moving forward anyway. This reminds me of a personal story. When I first began my research on vulnerability, I was terrified. I knew it was a deeply uncomfortable subject, both for me and for the people I spoke with. But I realized that this fear was a sign I was on the right path. Discomfort and fear are indicators that we're on the brink of growth. So, here's the challenge. The next time you feel fear in a high-pressure situation, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? Often, the things that scare us the most are the very things we need to face in order to grow. 8. Develop self-awareness. The foundation of resilience. Emotional resilience also requires deep self-awareness. This means understanding not just your strengths, but also your triggers, weaknesses, and what truly matters to you. In high-pressure environments, where everything seems out of control, having clarity about who you are and what your values are can be your guiding light. Often, we become so consumed by external demands that we lose sight of what we truly want or what motivates us. We become reactive, acting on impulse or necessity rather than with intention. Self-awareness helps us reclaim that sense of intentionality. Have you ever had a moment where, in the midst of a crisis, you realized you were acting in a way that didn't reflect your values? Maybe you said yes to something that you knew deep down went against what you believe in. It happens to all of us. But the practice of self-awareness gives us the chance to correct our course, to align our actions with what truly matters. A simple practice to strengthen self-awareness is to set aside time daily to reflect on your emotions and behaviors. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What is this emotion trying to tell me? The more you understand yourself, the easier it becomes to navigate the emotional ups and downs of high-pressure environments. 9. Create small self-care rituals. the fuel for resilience. We often underestimate the power of small, daily self-care rituals. Amid the rush and pressures of everyday life, it's easy to neglect the simple things that keep us emotionally balanced. But the truth is, resilience is built in those small moments of self-care, much more than in grand acts of overcoming adversity. Imagine a machine that runs 24 hours a day, without rest. Eventually, it breaks down. The same happens to us. Without moments of pause and self-care, our body and mind eventually reach a breaking point. So, building resilience also means making room to take care of yourself, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. It can be something simple, like going for a walk, meditating, reading an inspiring book, or simply allowing yourself some guilt-free rest. These small rituals aren't indulgences. They are essential for recharging your energy and keeping your mind healthy in high-pressure environments. So, here's a question for you. What small rituals can you incorporate into your routine to take care of yourself? 10. Develop the ability to pause. The power of a break. In high-pressure situations, our tendency is to react immediately. We think that solving everything quickly is the best way to relieve tension. But here's a powerful truth. Taking a pause is an underrated tool for emotional resilience. Often, stepping back, taking a breath, and reflecting before acting can make all the difference. The pause gives us a chance to recalibrate, to process our emotions, and to act with more clarity and intention. This ability to pause is especially crucial in environments where we are constantly bombarded with demands and expectations. Imagine a scenario where you receive an aggressive email or criticism in the middle of a project. Your instinct might be to react immediately, maybe even with anger or frustration. But what if, instead, you paused for a few minutes? That pause allows you to process your emotions and respond in a way that's more aligned with your values and goals. Practicing the pause is not a sign of inactivity or indecision. On the contrary, it's a demonstration of self-control and resilience. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, give yourself permission to pause before reacting. It can completely change the outcome of the situation. Emotional resilience isn't a final destination. It's not something you achieve once and for all. It's an ongoing journey full of ups and downs and many moments of vulnerability. By cultivating these habits, you build a solid foundation to face life's pressures with more strength, balance, and courage. Now it's your turn. Start practicing these habits today. Embrace your vulnerability, cultivate self-compassion, and build a support network. And of course, if this content resonated with you, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with those who also need to hear this message. And remember, true resilience doesn't mean you'll never feel fragile or overwhelmed. On the contrary, it means that even in those moments of fragility, you'll find ways to get back up. You'll discover that amidst the chaos, there's still room for inner peace, clarity, and growth. The final question I leave for you to reflect on is this. How can you start implementing these habits in your life today to build the emotional resilience you're seeking? Because, in the end, resilience isn't just about surviving the storms, it's about blooming even in the midst of them. See you in the next video.